led mining surge in Kaduna as jobless youth seek survival. Finland indicts Simon Ekpa for inciting terrorism. Flood washes away makeshift Namne Bridge, strands motorists. Another foreign saying Russia-Ukraine resumed peace talks after 2-year deadlock. Good evening. Welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us now. Amid rising unemployment and deepening poverty, Jere, a once peaceful agrarian community in Kaduna State, has transformed into a hotspot for informal lead mining, where limited economic options are forcing residents to embrace the hazardous trade despite the health risk, legal uncertainties, and its growing link to insecurity in the community. Trust TV's Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima completes the report.
For miners in Jere, each shovel of earth carries the weight of survival. With no protective gear and pits plugging as deep as 15 meters, they work under hazardous conditions, driven by the urgent need to make the ends meet. Many say mining is their only alternative to a life of crime or begging.
Those that are trying to get in the money by themselves, they are not just waiting for somebody to come and give them the money. Whether they are not just expecting money from somebody, they are just come out, try to know how they are going to feed it themselves by themselves, because that is the reason they have already involved themselves for this kind of business.
I am doing this to avoid begging or engaging in activities that are becoming of a woman. I am truly happy and grateful to God, as this is our means of survival.
So we have personnel that used to give us orientation pertaining the dangers with the mining, even though this is a primary part of the mining.
According to Aliyu Zubairu, Secretary of the Jere Emirate Council, the community embraces both local and migrant miners, but insists that all operations must follow a legal and regulatory frameworks.
Jere Emirate Council has not folded its hands like that. This thing is guarded by law, these mining activities. Therefore, the Emirate Council immediately reported this matter to Mining Cadastral Office, Zonal Mining Cadastral Office in Kaduna, so also Mining Development Company by the state government. We all write to them officially of the discovery of these mining operations in our domain, and they have visited this site. The Zonal Mining Coordinator visited the site. He saw what he saw. In fact, there is no any company. It's not a big company. It is a people, farmers, peasant farmers, that were using their hands. They are using hose to excavate this sand and then wash it and then remove what is needed there in the sand.
The village head Yusuf Suleiman and a resident Abdul Karim Suleiman say the mining rush has brought a fresh wave of opportunity. Joblessness is on the decline as more people, young and old, find ways to earn a living.
It's a minor mining, which it helped the poor, the needy. It helped youth a lot. Which they decided, okay, part of it that there are rules that we have to follow because of the security issues. That is the registration and a particular union with a particular participant. You understand? Part of it which they engage all the security sections of the country.
While the Kaduna State Mining Development Companies oversees the activities in the area, Trust TV's investigation reveals that only a few mining groups currently operate with formal license, raising questions about regulation and safety enforcement. Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A professor of political economy, Pato Tomi, on Friday said he is receiving support from some Nigerians who are planning to mobilize 500 lawyers to defend him against the Department of State Services. Utomi disclosed this in a post on X. The DSS has sued Utomi over his alleged plan to establish what he calls a shadow government in the country. According to the suit filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja, the DSS prayed the court to declare the move an attack on the Constitution. The professor of political economy was a 2007 presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, was sued as the sole defendant. The security stories: troops on the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation World Stroke, in collaboration with troops of Operation Safe Haven, have killed 2 bandits and recovered 100 rustled cows in Taraba State. Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, Captain Oni Olubudunde, said in a statement he issued in Jalingo on Friday. He said that killing of the 2 bandits and recovery of the rustled cows was as a result of credible intelligence reports the army received. According to him, the troops responded swiftly to a report of armed bandits mounted on approximately 30 motorcycles who had crossed from Plateau State into Taraba State. Captain Oni further stated that the criminal elements launched a cattle rustling operation targeting the Fulani settlement near Jebjeb village in Karim Lamido local government area of Taraba State. Finnish prosecutors on Friday said they have charged the Nigerian separatist leader Simon Ekpa with inciting terrorism online. Finland's National Prosecution Authority said in a statement that it had charged a Finnish individual in a case involving suspected public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent and participation in the activities of a terrorist group. It added that the alleged crimes had been committed in the city of Lahti between 2021 and 2024 and were related to the suspect's efforts to establish Nigeria's Biafra region as an independent state. The prosecution authority did not name the accused, but Finnish public broadcaster YLE identified him as separatist leader Simon Ekpa. Ekpa, who claims to lead the Biafra Republic's government in exile, was detained in November. According to the prosecution authority, the accused remained in custody and denied the charges. DHQ, the Defense Headquarters, has debunked a viral video circulating on social media falsely claimed to be footage from the recent terrorist attacks on troops in Marte, Borno State. The video, the DHQ said, is unrelated to the May 12 incident, adding that the incident captured in the video occurred in December of 2020. According to a statement on Friday by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcos Kange, an analysis of the video revealed that the terrain, visuals, and operational context of the video do not match the recent Marte encounter. He accused terrorist sympathizers and criminal elements of deliberately recycling the footage to mislead the public and undermine military morale. Kange described the circulation of the outdated footage as a malicious attempt to spread fear, discredit the ongoing military operations, and erode public confidence in armed forces. Following the signing of the Nigerian First policy designed to reduce the country's dependence on imports, questions remain about how local manufacturers will benefit from its implementation. Many will laud the policy, emphasize that its success hinges on proper implementation, especially if government institutions lead by example. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim speaks to manufacturers and consumers who weigh in on the discussion in this report.
The Nigeria First policy focuses on increasing patronage of locally produced goods and reducing reliance on imports. Its implementation could have a significant positive impact on Nigeria's economy by increasing import duties and applying traditional taxes on imported products, thereby making locally produced items more competitive and attractive to consumers and processors. A National Council member of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Sani Hussaini, while lauding the signing of the policy, emphasizes the need for effective monitoring of its implementation.
For example, I read the policy very, very well. What they were saying is, for any government agency to patronize goods outside the one that is being produced in Nigeria, they have to seek clearance from the Bureau for public procurement. So our prayer is that government should be, should be mindful, at least should put machinery in motion whereby they'll be checkmating the people that are implementing the policy.
A lingering question we put to residents is whether the policy will encourage Nigerians to appreciate locally produced items or if they will continue to lean towards foreign goods.
Well, made in Nigerian goods, there are some goods that they are good. And, it's a market. So there is too much competition in the market. So if they improve the quality of their goods, they will buy it, even from foreigners, they will buy the goods. So it depends with the quality of the goods.
I think if we can be able to produce more goods in Nigeria and Nigerian patronizing it, I think we're going to have a very good view of it, and Nigeria is going to be better, and so many jobless people in the country will have something to do, and it will reduce the much of crimes in Nigeria and unemployment in Nigeria, to me.
So all these are made in Nigerian goods can never be provided without adequate electricity. Actually, the policy is a very good policy, but the federal government need to address it well before it implements it.
Patronizing made in Nigerian goods is a beautiful idea. We can't depend every time on foreign goods. You see, if we can produce goods in Nigeria, we patronize Nigerian products, then Nigeria economy will develop. But if we continue to import goods every day, naira continues to go down, dollar continues to go up.
Of course, there are so many other factors, maybe even the market itself. Nigerians now, it's obvious that they doesn't have the purchasing power, and it's really affecting us, manufacturers.
As Nigerians continue to grapple with the high cost of living, it is hoped that the Nigeria First policy, once properly implemented, will lead to increased production and job creation. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, the management of Kaduna State University, KASU, has disclosed that the institution's branch of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has suspended its strike action and the varsity has been opened immediately. Addressing the press conference in his office on Thursday, the Vice-Chancellor of KASU, Abdullahi Musa, said that Governor Ubasani has approved 50 million naira monthly standing order for staff welfare support and has set up a negotiating team to discuss how to clear issues. He further disclosed that Governor Sani has released 146 million naira for the payment of some withheld salaries and Students' Industrial Work Experience Scheme (CUS) allowances. The Vice-Chancellor also disclosed that the Governor approved the retention of a certain percentage of internally generated revenue by the university after determining the actual amount collected to enhance financial autonomy. Professor Musa also said that the government has constituted a high-level negotiation team to continue holding dialogue with all unions in the university to address outstanding issues. In a landmark initiative to harness intellectual capital for state development, Governor Umar Namadi convened a high-level strategic dialogue with more than 1,000 academics from 48 tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The event, held at the banquet hall in Dutse, aimed to foster collaborative thinking on solutions to Jigawa State's most pressing challenges. Here's more in this report.
The forum featured in-depth discussions on education reform, healthcare delivery, youth employment and security enhancement, critical sectors Governor Namadi identified as priorities for his administration. Key speakers included Commissioner for Higher Education, Professor Isa Yusuf Chamo, who outlined the administration's achievements in tertiary education, infrastructure upgrades, and faculty development. State Minister of Education Professor Suwaiba Saidu Ahmad also addressed participants, emphasizing the importance of research-driven policy formulation.
In terms of teachers recruitment, by the time when His Excellency came on board in our senior secondary school, after conducting the need assessment, we had a gap, or we have the total gap of 1,901 teachers. And then the ratio at that time stand 70 teachers per student. But after the coming of His Excellency, at the secondary school level, His Excellency initially recruited 1,100 teachers so that they can complement the gap that existed.
As we are all aware, Governor Umar Namadi administration has set a new benchmark in educational development through comprehensive reforms, infrastructure expansion, human capital investment, and inclusive policies. His vision aligns with global best practices and positions Jigawa State as a model for educational excellence in Nigeria. With sustained implementation, the Namadi-led education revolution is not just transforming institutions, but shaping the future of the state's next generation.
Governor Namadi highlighted milestones of his administrations, including the establishment of new healthcare centers, expanded teacher training programs, and initiatives aimed at tackling youth unemployment through skill acquisition schemes. He then opened the floor to recommendations from participants.
The interactive section we are having today with the Jigawa academics, our depository of knowledge and a cream of intellectuals in our society, is certainly historic. The occasion is coming almost midway into our first term in office, exactly 2 weeks to the second anniversary of our administration. As intellectuals, I firmly believe many of the audience here today would very vividly recall our commitment to the people of Jigawa State on that historic day of May 29th May 2023.
Participants praised the initiative as a bold step toward evidence-based governance while urging sustained engagement to ensure long-term impact. The dialogue marks a significant stride in bridging government policy with academic expertise, setting a new precedent for participatory development planning in Jigawa State.
You're on to news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Motorists stranded as flood waters washed away makeshift Namne Bridge. When we return, please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now we'll look at some of our top stories. We told you that led mining surge in Kaduna as jobless youth seek survival. We also told you that Finland indicts Simon Ekpa for inciting terrorism. To more stories, over in Adamawa State, Governor Amadu Fintiri has approved another round of the deworming exercise for primary school pupils, which will be conducted by the state's Primary Healthcare Development Agency. These announcements came during a media engagement with the executive chairman of the Primary Healthcare Agency and his team. Gibson Swadigo tells us more.
During an interactive session, Yola-based journalists discussed the successes of the Adamawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency under Governor Fintiri's administration. The executive chairman of the agency, Dr. Suleiman Saidu Bashir, revealed that Adamawa State has vaccinated over 1,400,000 children under the age of 5 in the recent national polio campaign. He attributed these achievements to the collaborative efforts of Governor Fintiri and various local government councils, which help bring healthcare services closer to the communities and ensure that all citizens have access to them. Bashir outlined that Adamawa State Primary Health Care Development Agency is responsible for implementing at least 10 core mandates aimed at strengthening the healthcare system in the state.
So we have designed a lot of interventions in that regard. creating literacy, as I mentioned earlier, awareness on health elements and means of preventing them. We have structures at the community level. We work with community leaders. We are working with youth, media men. We are working with parents and caregivers. We have community dialogues, outreaches. These are the strategies we use to create those awareness so that people will know what they need to do to remain healthy, to avoid departure from health, and to avoid falling ill.
The Director of Disease Control and Immunization, Jacob Vasumu Joseph, also spoke at the event, sharing updates on the immunization exercise and ongoing developments in the state's primary health care system. He noted that the campaign's success was achieved despite emerging challenges that threaten to disrupt the initiative.
And that is why we also commend our religious and our traditional leaders and even the media team that we are engaging now. They have helped us a lot and they are part of the success story of resolving these non-compliances.
The objective of school deworming is that it reduces the prevalence of intestinal worms infection among targeted populations, and particularly children and other vulnerable groups. Our planning stage is one, we target population. The group to be targeted are school-age children, and including preschool and other high-risk population. When we say high-risk population, we mean those at the IDP camps and also communities where there is conflict.
Progress and successes recorded by the Primary Health Care Agency are attributed to the dedication of Governor Ahmadu Fintri. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Hundreds of motorists were stranded as a result of heavy flooding on the River Namne, which washed away the makeshift passage built at Namne Bridge, which collapsed 9 months ago in Taraba State. The makeshift passages was constructed through communal effort close to the collapsed bridge that allowed motorists to pass. It was learned that on Wednesday and Thursday, heavy rainfall was recorded in the area, leading to heavy flooding in the River Namne that washed away the makeshift passage built through communal efforts. It was gathered that heavy trucks and other vehicles had to turn back on either side of the bridge to other routes in order to continue with their journey. Motorists blamed both federal and Taraba state government for failure to reconstruct the collapsed bridge despite the promise they made. In business, Nigeria's external reserves have recorded a sustained rebound for the first time in 2025, rising by $364 million between April 30 and May 14, 2025. This marks the first consistent two-week upward trend in the country's foreign reserves since they peaked on January 6, 2025 at $40.92 billion. According to the latest figures published by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the gross external reserves stood at 37.934 billion naira on April 30 and reached 38.298 billion naira by May 14, reflecting a 0.96% increase in just 14 days. The new trajectory comes after months of gradual depletion and volatility, largely attributed to intense pressure from external debt repayments. The foreign seeing the first direct talks between Ukraine and Russia on ending the war in more than 3 years started on Friday in Istanbul, with expectations low that the two sides would agree to end Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II. Turkey's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan opened the meeting between Russian and Ukrainian delegations around in Istanbul's Dolmabahce Palace. The two sides spent the 24 hours before the talk slinging insults at each other, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Moscow of not being serious about peace. Russian President Vladimir Putin declined to travel to Turkey for the talks, which he had proposed, sending a second-level delegation instead. Zelensky criticized Russia for not taking the talks seriously by dispatching people who he said had no power to make decisions. Both Moscow and Washington have also talked up the need for a meeting between Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump on the conflict. That concludes news updates at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.